So hey guys, this is part 2 for what if Goku was in Naruto. So I may have made a mistake in the last part and made it sound like Naruto is gonna have certain genetics, and I was planning to do that, but then I realized that at that point Goku, he's just taking some of Goku's thunder. So instead, coming up with a different way for Naruto to get powerful. So this is the next part where we see Zabuza and Haku. Just Zabuza at this moment though, since this is when they first meet Zabuza. So what happens now is they have to find a way to beat Zabuza, which is quite difficult, as he traps Kakashi inside of a water prison. But since the team is arguably stronger than usual, I would say that they come up with a similar way compared to the original, to get Kakashi out of the prison, which is relatively simple. So then they beat up Zabuza like the original, and then Haku comes and saves him. So then during this time while Kakashi is recovering, Naruto, Sasuke and Goku train on chakra control. So basically tree climbing and basically water walking, I guess. So I'll say that all of them actually learn both tree climbing and water walking, which is earlier, like Naruto is learning this earlier than usual. But I'll just say, since they came into it stronger and they practiced more compared to the original, since there is Goku who is stronger and makes everyone stronger by virtue of themselves being around him, that means that they get more abilities to push themselves. So they all learn both tree climbing and water walking, making them slightly more powerful but not significantly. So basically, when it comes to the second fight between Zabuza, Haku, and the Genins and Kakashi, I'll say that basically Goku and Naruto stay behind to help against the kidnappers. So then they manage to dispatch them earlier. But then when they come, they see Kakashi and Sasuke barely hanging on. Like they got beat. They underestimated how powerful Haku was. Since before they somehow managed to hold their own against Zabuza, they thought that they would manage to do it again, which was not the case, and they were about to be defeated. So then Naruto and Goku goes to help Kakashi while Naruto helps Sasuke. And basically the same thing happens. Sasuke gets hit by a senbone, and then basically Naruto thinks Sasuke is dead, which makes him enter his Nine Tails form, and basically that helps him beat Haku, I guess. While in the meantime, Goku and Kakashi fight against Zabuza. So as Kakashi is about to finish off Zabuza with a Kirin, Haku's about to jump in the way. But since Goku is still the same personality from the original, and Goku doesn't like killing people in general, he prefers sparing them. Instead, they both get spared, and Goku stops Kakashi from killing them. And Goku then asks them and questions them, and Naruto uses talk no jutsu to talk to Zabuza and Haku, and basically they become good people and actually want to join the Hidden Leaf village, which is a huge advantage. And they have someone who has ice release, and on top of this, one of the 7 legendary swordsmen of the mist, so which is quite good. So they defeat the evil guy called Gato, and then basically they leave the Hidden Mist in a good position, like the village in a good position, and they build the Great Naruto Bridge. They were considering calling it the Great Goku Bridge, but Naruto stuck out the most, and he made an impact on everyone there with his speech and his confidence, which made it named the Great Naruto Bridge. So then they go back to the Hidden Leaf, and everything goes normal for a while until the Chunin exams gets mentioned by Kakashi. And Kakashi then asks all of them if they would be willing to join, to which all of them want to join. So they get entered into the Chunin exams. And basically what happens now is Sasuke sees how strong Goku is and how strong Naruto is becoming. and since he doesn't want to get left behind, he actually joins them for a bit of training, which means that since Goku's main thing was martial arts and using ninja tools, that meant that Sasuke managed to increase his taijutsu quite a bit. So when he was fighting against Rock Lee, since Rock Lee challenged him to that fight, he wasn't completely useless as the originals. He actually was able to hold his own a bit. And on top of this, he then learned from his loss against Rock Lee and make sure to control that in the future. So then, on this point, we have Orochimaru, who has been spying on these guys, and he realizes how powerful Sasuke would be. And on top of this, he thinks about how strong Goku would be too. And he contemplates taking both of them for his mission. So what happens is, during the Forest of Death, basically this is everything goes original until the Forest of Death, where Orochimaru tries to basically implant a curse mark inside of Sasuke, which he manages to do. And Goku's averse to this because he's worried about catching the same curse mark. But Orochimaru had been doing studies on Goku and realized his power comes from his tail. So instead of biting his neck, which Goku prepared for, he bites him on his tail, which means that his Saiyan influences and his vicious Saiyan nature got unlocked through his tail. So this means that Goku was got a more savage tendency due to the fact that he had this tail on him. And basically Orochimaru leaves as usual. So this also means that basically Goku is part of the Chunin exam fight. So since basically they warded off Orochimaru and Goku was actually useful for this compared to Sakura, they're not as drained as usual, and they managed to take the second scroll and pass to the next round of the Chunin exams, which is where people fight one another. So now it's basically all the fights happen as original. I'll say Goku stomps all of them until the point where it reaches basically Naruto fights against Neji, Sasuke fights against Gaara, and I'll say that Goku actually fights against someone who might be semi-useful. So I'll say Kabuto doesn't leave at this current moment and he's still part of the fight. And he doesn't give up his identity and drop out of the Chunin exams. He actually still plays a part at this point in the story. So Goku fights against Kabuto. And I'll say that everything goes the same as normal, and Goku fights against Kabuto, and it's a very deep fight. And Kabuto is jealous about the fact that Orochimaru took such a great interest in Goku. And he says that Goku is now someone that he hates and is and considers him a rival. While Goku, on the other hand, sees how Kabuto has the potential to change and he's just been misled, which made him feel bad for Kabuto. So basically that's how it ends, with Goku winning, but he's very damaged. He took a lot of beatings in this fight. Well, this is the first round, and basically Naruto fought against Kiba for the first round, and Sasuke fought. I forgot who he fought, but he won the fight. So either way, that's not that big of a concern. So basically what happens now is there's a 1-month training arc, and this is where things change. Goku looks around for someone to train with, and he tries to find someone who might be an interesting trainer for what he's trying to learn. So surprisingly, he takes a very interesting path and goes to Might Guy for training. And Might Guy looks at Goku and he decides that either way he has faith in Rock Lee, so it doesn't matter if he trains someone else, and he sees the passion and youth in Naruto's eyes, and he agrees to train Naruto. And Naruto gets trained on taijutsu and martial arts. And Might Guy sees how capable Goku is, and he decides to see what he is able to do, as he then asks Goku to if he's willing to take an extreme training that has never been done before, to try teach someone the power of the gates in 1 month. As Goku says he's up to the challenge. basically then Might Guy explains the gates in a way that was not explained by the way he taught Rock Lee. Rock Lee had a lot more time, and basically he learned it in the way of Might Guy. But Might Guy said, "Do you ever wonder where the gates came from?" And it was when a Kai came from another world to Earth, and this man was called King Kai, and he taught one of my great-great-grandfathers the form of a technique that multiplied your power as you used it. But the problem was that it added strain on your body. The 8 gates were a variation of this ability, but the original name of this ability was called Kaioken. So, King Kai originally trained one of my ancestors on this ability, and he passed it down. And the original scroll for this ability of Kaioken remains hidden somewhere in the forests around Konoha, and almost no one has ever seen them other than me. So currently I've not even taught Rock Lee this, as the strain it would take on an ordinary body is too high to handle. But I think due to your unique capabilities, I think you might just be able to handle it. As then Might Guy directs Goku to where he might be able to find this scroll. But Might Guy says, don't underestimate finding this scroll. It's made to test if you're worthy for it. So you're going to fight very strong beasts in the forests, and you might get damaged and injured. But deep into a cave, or in the forest of the monkey spirits, you will find this scroll. To which Goku agrees, and he's excited actually for this challenge, as he thanks Might Guy for all his training, and he goes on his way to find the scroll. So basically after this, Goku can basically experimented with the 8 gates, but it's not for him. He's not fully with the same biology of a human being, and the 8 gates were built to work as efficiently as possible for human biology, while Saiyans, they have different genetics, which meant that the 8 gates did not work the same way. Even though Goku could technically use it, it was 10 times more stressful compared to other techniques. So since the 8 gates does cause damage to different chakra pathways on your heart, and since due to this Goku found it a bit more difficult to deal with. But this Kaioken, since it came from another source beyond this planet, it had the capability of working very well with Goku. So Goku at this moment could only open the first gate, but even that caused a lot of strain on his body. He would be very drained after 2 minutes of using this attack, and he could not use it once he used it once, he could not use it again for around 2 days. So Goku basically went on his way finding this scroll, and he bumped into a lot of very powerful creatures. Snakes that were about the size of Orochimaru snakes. On top of that, there were just every animal you could think of was buffed in this environment, and they were highly aggressive, which meant Goku was nearly on the brink of death fighting each one of them, and it buffed him so incredibly. It made him incredibly stronger. By the end of it, he was 5 times more powerful than when he went in. And eventually he bumped into a giant monkey, and he asks, "What in the world? This like the monkeys were much bigger than even the other the other animals in the forest." And this monkey spoke to him and said, "Hey, watch where you're going," as Goku bumped into one of them, and Goku said, "Wait, you can talk." And basically the monkey said, "Yes, I am one of the few spirits that roam this great cave of the monkeys." So basically this is how, the same way the toad sages and the snail sages and the snake sages, in this scenario too the monkey sages, as this is almost died out type of spirit, to which there are only around 3 of the three great monkeys left. The one that's with Hiruzen is one of these monkeys. The other one is the one that guards the cave, and then the monkey also has a son. So this monkey's name was Wukong. So the monkey named Wukong then spoke to Goku and says, "What do you come here to seek?" To which Goku says, "I seek to find the scroll of the Kaioken." To which the monkey says, "Are you worthy? I will test that." As Goku faces against Wukong for power, and Wukong says, "If you can battle me and land one punch, I will give you the ability to look at the scroll." To which Goku accepts, and Goku gets battered by Wukong to the point where he's on the ground, almost in defeat. But just as Goku's about to receive defeat, the curse mark in Goku's tail activates. Since it was not on Goku's neck, it took much longer to take effect into his body. But Goku's eyes took a darker turn as a pattern scattered across his body, and his body changed into a more ape-like form as his eyes opened and took a green color, as it forced Goku to hit a somewhat Ikari state, as he then attacked the Wukong and landed 3 good hits on Wukong, as Goku said in a vicious way of speech, "I win," as he then de-transforms but due to the lack of stamina and falls down on the ground, passing out. To which Wukong sees this curse mark and says, "This could be dangerous," but he did do what I asked. As Wukong then works to find a way to seal this curse mark and stop it from causing an impact on Goku, as he then manages to seal it somewhat and its capabilities. But it wouldn't. The more Goku got pushed to the edge of death, the weaker the seal would become until the curse mark would just break out. So basically what happens now is Goku gets the scroll of the Kaioken, and Wukong says, "I will train you and make a summoning contract with you for the next 1 month that's remaining. And basically, I will teach you on how to use this Kaioken. At most, I think you'll only be able to use the Kaioken times 3, but that will make you 3 times more powerful. But at the detriment of, it causes strain, but not as much as the 8 gates." To which Goku agrees, and they begin their training. By the end of it, Goku then makes a summoning contract with Wukong, and that means that Goku can summon Wukong to help him battle at any time, as he walks back to the Chunin exams. And this is where I'll leave it off for now. Goku is much more powerful, and that means that he's able to do much more. But on top of this, something unpredictable happened. One of the warriors from the village hidden in the clouds came out to be a man that called himself a demon with green skin and who looked rather old. Since the Chunin exams has no age restriction, we see this being Piccolo. Since Piccolo is an alien, and I did say the only difference is the fact that the Naruto world is replaced with the Earth world. That means that Piccolo and Kami still happens in this world, since all the other things that happen in space stay the same as in Dragon Ball. So that means Goku, instead of being paired off with someone random, he gets paired against Piccolo, the demon, the man who proclaims himself as Demon King. And in the first round, people laughed at Piccolo and said, "How can you be the Demon King and you're still a Genin? There's no way," as they laugh. But Piccolo just sees this ninja thing of another way to reach superiority and establish himself as the best, as he simply shoots a blast at his opponent. And since the Chunin exam has no death requirement, he kills everyone he runs into. Even in the Forest of Death, everyone who saw Piccolo, this is why no one heard of him, everyone who saw Piccolo was confirmed to have been killed. due to the fact that Piccolo wastes no time to kill his opponents. And this is who Goku is fighting. Someone who no one has ever survived meeting. So this is where I'll leave it off. Will Naruto beat Neji? Will Sasuke beat Gaara? And will Goku beat Piccolo? Find out next time in What If Goku Was in Naruto. Thank you and have a good day.